Andrew Lloyd Webber, a musical theatre empire mogul, owns various theatre venues within the West End. He is a millionaire who has recently been against the COVID restrictions that were placed upon theatres and was nominated by the Tories to be a Lord, in which he flew over from his home in the US to the UK in order to vote for child tax credit cuts. He has now recently closed his production of the musical Cinderella without telling any workers that they were going to be fired. Similar to the P&O scandal, although with P&O crews they did actually tell them via a live video link, the cast and crew of Cinderella were told on social media. Not that they were told directly, but that they were told that the show was closing. There had been no information to the cast and crew of the musical. One actor who was due to be in it, Summer Strallen, said that the role would have paid her bills for a year. She demands that no one should have lost their job in the way that she did. She was promised a year-long contract. For her, this was a rare level of stability. Actors, crew members, they are all part of what we consider as the gig economy. They are freelance. She received a text from a friend 3 days after receiving her contract that the production was closing and saying she was sure that she would get another role soon. Strallen had no idea what she was talking about and then sent her a link to an article online. Her agent didn't know anything about it. And if you know the acting world, agents are the people that get you jobs and can go through the logistics of your contract. But the agent received an email just half an hour before the announcement was made. Andrew Lloyd Webber and the Really Useful Group, the company that Andrew Lloyd Webber owns, showed a complete lack of humanity towards their workers. 70% of the workforce in the arts are self-employed contractors with little security. If a year-long contract suddenly disappears, it can have the biggest effect to these workers. Equity released a statement about the Cinderella cast and crew, saying that workers must be treated with dignity. Not only was the news shared on a Sunday before a bank holiday, the Equity press statement release said, meaning those affected could not contact their agent for support, but we understand that some cast members and stage management heard the news first through social media or the press. This is unacceptable. All creative workers deserve to be treated with dignity at work. In addition, new cast and stage management had recently been hired and were due to start work soon. These performers had planned their lives around what they thought was going to be their next job, included expected future earnings, accommodation arrangements, and even turning down other work. You often, as an actor, set yourself up, meaning that you miss choices for other pieces of work. And when they take away that work, you have no income left, putting workers in the most precarious positions. Acting, theatre, creative crews, it is not their hobby, it is not their passion, it's not their love. The reality is, in the materialist sense, it is their job. This has been a disgraceful move by Andrew Lloyd Webber and the Really Useful Group. It's a lack of respect for workers, valuing profit over people, and the exploitation of workers by Webber, by Cameron McIntosh, by the oligarchs of the theatre has to stop. Equity is fighting for better working rights across the sector right now. Here are the demands being made by Equity, and Left Horizons would argue for these same demands too. Producers should give more thought to the effect of their business decisions on the real lives of their workforce and how they communicate it to them. For example, do not tell cast and stage management that the contract is cancelled on a Sunday evening in advance of a bank holiday. Tell the union in advance of intended closure, and make sure that all cast members have been individually told in good time before releasing any news via social media or the press. Do not think that sending an email out to an agent or cast member after hours is fulfilling your obligation. It is not a press matter, it is a matter of workers' dignity. Compensation should be made to both current and future cast members. The full value of the current cast member's contract until it ends on the 17th of July, and payment of adequate compensation to those contracted who are due to start working at the beginning of June. Equity's General Secretary, Paul Fleming, has said, Equity members made this show. They poured their heart and skills into it through the worst 2 years in living memory. Now they're jobless, effectively sacked by press release. All unions are fighting forms of this practice right now, and Equity will get compensation for our members after the pain and distress this has caused them. There have also been protests outside the Gillian Lynn Theatre, which is where Cinderella is currently playing. There have been major attacks on the arts industry by the Tories but also by the producers who enable these kind of horrendous practices. But their profits are falling. Andrew Lloyd Webber took a £20 million hit in his fortune as a result of the coronavirus crisis. Yet he still tops the list of wealthiest musicians alongside Sir Paul McCartney, with a calculated worth of £800 million. Let's get real for a second. It is not the commercial theatre industry that's in crisis right now. People like Cameron Mackintosh and Andrew Lloyd Webber and Sonia Friedman, they don't care about the love or the art of theatre. This is a loss of their profits. And now they're trying to reap it back through the exploitation and sacking of its workforces. Actors and theatre crew should not give in to any demands that lower their rates of pay or a lowering standard of their working conditions. Do not fall for the lies that if we support these composers, these multimillionaires, that theatre can get back on its feet again. The economic models of theatre at this current stage are commercial theatre or subsidised theatre. There needs to be a third way. Publicly owned theatre that's owned by local governments and the national government will be what keeps the arts alive, not these commercial pundits who often donate to people who manage austerity programs for the arts. Cameron Mackintosh was also known for giving almost $1 million in donations towards David Cameron in 2015. He has also been a vehement supporter of Brexit, something which will affect arts industry workers the most as we rely on a lot of EU work. Don't trust them. Fight for a new way in theatre which puts it into public ownership.